Alrighty, my people. Vocabulary number 3. So, again, you are writing the definition on your paper. You are writing one of the sentences, both of the sentences, or your own sentence. So, first word, diverse. These are both words from the Great Barrier Reef or A Girl's Garden. So diverse means of different kinds or sorts. So we have a diverse group of students when it comes to racially, with gender, with what you like, diverse in a lot of different ways, like we've been reading about. And the Great Barrier Reef is a diverse ecosystem. There's a lot of things that are a part of that ecosystem, lots of organisms and non-living things. Miscellany. This is a very strange word that you don't hear very often. It's kind of related to miscellaneous, which is like, I would say just a different way of saying the same thing. So a collection of various items. So he had a miscellany of junk under his bed. It's kind of a collection, various items. In the story and the poem, it talks about how her crop was a miscellany. Because she had a lot of different plants she was growing. Organisms, we've talked about this, are living things. So the organisms in an ecosystem must stay balanced. Right? If we get too many rabbits, then they are going to eat all the plants. If we get too many wolves, they might eat all the rabbits. Just like if things are out of whack, then things might go extinct. There might not be enough food. It all has to stay balanced. And the reef is made of thousands of organisms called polyps. Just an interesting fact of what the coral reef is made of. Ecosystem, again, this is another word that is coming back, so hopefully you can connect it to the notes we took and the games you've played and the different mystery science things we've done. So, ecosystem is a community of living things and their environment. So a pond is an interesting ecosystem. The animals, the water, the plants, all the things that are a part of it. Algae is one energy producer in the coral reef ecosystem. That's how it is used in that story. Coral is the next word. Coral is interesting because it seems like it's like a plant, right? Like, or just a rock almost. But it's actually the hard skeleton of tiny sea animals. 2 sentences. Most kinds of coral are found in warm tropical oceans. That's where they live. Then the reef is made of coral. Coral pulps. So maybe you write the second one because it's shorter, or maybe you write your own sentence. That is fine too. I had a necklace made of coral, maybe. Algae. They are plants that live in the water and produce their own energy. They're just like teeny tiny plants. They don't have roots. They're like kind of a weird plant, but they are a plant. So the surface of the water is covered in algae. Sometimes you might see a pond that just has so much algae on it you can't even see underneath. And algae are part of the coral reef ecosystem. 2 more. You can do it. Invasive species. I think I mentioned my dad is a landscaper, or was. He's retired. And he has all sorts of things to say about invasive species. So it's a plant or an animal that harmfully overspread. So it's like not native to a place. It didn't start there way back when. People brought it over and it kind of took over. So, invasive species like zebra mussels show up in lakes in Minnesota, throw off the natural balance of an ecosystem. There's a plant called buckthorn. Didn't start in North America. I think they brought it over from Europe and it kind of took over. Some of you might read a book with me in small group about kudzu. Maybe you have already. There's a whole book about invasive species. It's very interesting. It's this vine that just sort of grows out of control and harms the ecosystem because the other plants can't grow. Or in the case of zebra mussels, like other animals are affected. So it can totally throw things off. And then the last word is reap. To cut down and gather. You might have heard of like the Grim Reaper. He is a character who like gathers souls after people die. Little grim, sorry. A little like dark. But in this case, it just means like usually in plants. Kind of like harvested. So the farmer reaped the grain from the field. So like cut it down, brought it in so they could use it. The girl planted and reaped all the plants by herself. So both of those are in past tense. You could use it just reap. I am going to go reap the plants from the garden. Different ways to use it. I am reaping right now and it's really hot outside. I don't know. Lots of different ways you can use it if you want to write your own sentence. You will be doing that on your exit slip. As always, let me know if you have questions. Good luck.